Can you imagine the special one, Jose Mourinho, stepping onto St. James Park and performing an invisible, silent gesture full of meaning, and realizing that the fear factor he always brought along has simply disappeared? Well, fans, that's exactly what we're talking about today. I'm Rodrigo, and you're watching Newcastle Mania, the channel made by fans for fans passionate about Newcastle United. You blinked, and Newcastle became headline news everywhere. But hold on, before we get to today's bombshell, the story of Mourinho and the gesture that left everyone stunned, we've got two other hot updates to bring you up to speed on our club. Subscribe call. But first, just a quick word. If you love Newcastle and want to keep up with everything happening at our club, subscribe to the channel now. It costs nothing, helps a ton, and makes a huge difference in growing our black and white community. Fans, this is one of those stories that reminds us football is about much more than goals and victories. Jose Mourinho, the special one, is back on the Champions League stage, and it's not just any return. He'll face Newcastle United, but what grabs attention isn't just the match. It's a silent, almost invisible gesture that shows the full scale of the special one's greatness and humanity. To really understand the weight of Mourinho's gesture, we need to go back in time, fans. At the start of his career, Jose wasn't the special one everyone knows today. He was still paving his way, learning the tricks of European football, and that's where Sir Bobby Robson came in. Bobby wasn't just a coach to Jose, he was a true mentor, someone who saw the potential in a young man who, at the time, communicated more as an interpreter than as a coach. It was Robson who took Mourinho from Sporting Lisbon to Porto, giving him the chance to immerse himself in top-level professional football. And it didn't stop there. The young Portuguese then moved to Barcelona within the coaching staff, where he could observe up close what it meant to work at one of the world's football giants. And you know what really makes this story remarkable? Even after years of glory, titles, worldwide recognition, and all the fame he's earned, Mourinho never forgot Bobby. He always paid silent but deeply meaningful tributes, ones few would notice if they weren't paying attention. For example, every time his team played at St. James Park, Mourinho would walk to the Bobby Robson statue at the end of Gallowgate and leave flowers at its base. No fuss, no cameras, no publicity. It was a discreet gesture, but one that carried all the weight of gratitude and respect. And it doesn't stop there. Mourinho also attended Robson's funeral at Durham Cathedral, alongside other top managers like Pep Guardiola. A clear sign that for him, Bobby Robson was not just a coach who opened doors. He was someone who shaped his football vision, his ethics, and even the way he approaches being a leader. These silent gestures show that behind the manager who blows up at press conferences and is known for his enormous ego, there's a man capable of deep gratitude and respect, values that never change, no matter the fame and power he's achieved. And so, fans, the return of Jose Mourinho to Newcastle Stadium is already causing a stir. As soon as the news broke, the media started dissecting every detail. Some papers and sports websites highlight the special one's history, not just his titles and achievements, but also his special bond with Sir Bobby Robson. It's a mix of history, respect, and that provocative charm that only Mourinho has. On social media, the reaction is even more intense. Tweets, posts, stories, the fans won't stop commenting. Some recall the tense moments Mourinho always brought to opponents. After all, he's not known for being easy to face, and some admire the silent reverence he keeps for Bobby. Fans are sharing old photos of Mourinho leaving flowers at the Mentor statue at St. James Park, while others are making funny memes about the aura of the special one hovering over the club again. And it's not just the media and fans commenting. Former players and figures across European football are paying attention too. That respect Mourinho commands, even from rivals, doesn't go unnoticed. He balances this aura of charisma and authority with moments of humanity and gratitude, making every visit to a club where he has history feel almost like an event. At heart, it's one of those moments mixing a lot of feelings: respect for the past, nostalgia for Mourinho's great moments, and of course, that little shiver that the special one always gave opponents and the most attentive fans. Some admit to even feeling a bit of fear, but a respectful fear, one that makes you realize you're about to witness something unique in world football. So fans, whether it's for the memory of Bobby Robson, Mourinho's impact on the Premier League, or just the curiosity to see how he'll behave, everyone's watching. And when that Champions League match comes around, you can be sure every move will be closely followed, every gesture from Jose analyzed, discussed, and celebrated as if it were part of Newcastle's very own history. To really understand the significance of Mourinho returning to St. James Park, we need to go back a few decades. Back then, Jose was just a young interpreter and assistant coach in Portugal, and he was lucky enough to cross paths with none other than Sir Bobby Robson, the man who saw talent in him that Jose hadn't even realized he had yet. And get this, it was Robson who actually tried to bring Mourinho to Newcastle. He didn't hold back. He offered him the assistant coach role, and more than that, made a promise that few would have the courage to make. Bobby said that after 2 years, Jose could take over as manager. It was a golden opportunity, a chance to get right into the heart of English football from an early stage. But Mourinho, with his sharp mind and vision, politely declined. He knew Robson would never abandon the club he loved so much, and that gesture of trust was more than special. It was sacred. Now, years later, Jose returns to St. James Park, but no longer as an assistant or young prospect. He arrives as a highly respected manager of Benfica, with a career full of titles, achievements, and worldwide recognition. Yet, there's something almost invisible about this return, a silent gesture, full of meaning. Mourinho still carries that deep respect for Bobby, for Newcastle's history, and for everything the club gave him before he became the special one. And it's exactly this blend of past and present that makes the moment so symbolic. He may be in charge of a major Portuguese club, facing the pressures of the Champions League, but inside, there's still that connection to St. James Park. Every step, every glance, every gesture inside the stadium carries layers of significance. It's not about publicity, not about the media. It's about respect, legacy, and memory. So, Newcastle fans, when Mourinho steps onto that pitch, he's not just facing a team of the present. He's walking through history, through memories of a mentor, through moments that shaped his career, and in a way, also shaped Newcastle United itself. It's a return full of layers, where every detail of the past mixes with the spectacle of the present, and all of it happens without him saying a single word. An invisible gesture, but one that speaks louder than any interview or press conference ever could. And we can't forget the contrast. Eddie Howe, our manager, and Mourinho are worlds apart. Howe is calm, polite, team-focused. Mourinho? He thrives on provocation, ego, and magnetic presence. But it's exactly this difference that makes the clash so fascinating. Opposing personalities face to face, tradition versus innovation, precision versus unpredictability. We've seen great managers like Guardiola, Klopp, or Ferguson visit historic stadiums and pay quiet respects, but Mourinho has a special touch. His invisible gesture at Newcastle isn't just respect, it's almost a ritual connecting football's past, present, and future. In the Champions League game, this could mean a lot. Not just because Benfica face Newcastle, but because of the atmosphere this silent gesture creates. Fans will remember it, talk about it, and above all, admire it. Mourinho has shown that even at the peak of fame, respect and history are greater than any headline. At the end of the day, Newcastle fans, that's the true value of football. Stories that move us, gestures that speak louder than words, and respect that spans generations. Mourinho may have lost the fear of facing any club, but his respect for Newcastle and Bobby Robson will never fade. So, Newcastle fans, what do you make of the special one's silent gesture at St. James Park? A sign of respect, a moment of nostalgia, or just another masterstroke? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what you think. And of course, if you're not subscribed yet, do it now. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and join our black and white family. Here, the passion for Newcastle never stops. I'm Rodrigo, and you're watching Newcastle Mania, the home of everyone who lives and breathes Newcastle United every day. See you in the next video. Ho away the lads!